Lucas Marsh here with Engineered Wealth Management, and I have a question for you. Do you know if your household is cash flow positive? Most people only have a feeling, but a feeling is not knowing. Cash flow is the entire foundation of your financial house. Everything else is built on that and comes afterwards. Today's video, I'm going to give you a quick roadmap of what cash flow is, what it means, why it matters, how to find your number, and what to do with it. Simple definition for you. A surplus cash flow is when you have more money coming in than going out. You're building. A shortfall is when you have more money going out than coming in. You're eroding your financial house. And just because you have money sitting in your checking account doesn't mean you're cash flow positive. There's a couple things that hide the cash flow problem. First thing is lifestyle creep. You may have gotten a raise or your income went up in the past year and you had promised yourself that you were going to set aside that new money. But then a new car came out that you liked, or you had to get to the new digital watch or the new cell phone, and you never ended up saving that extra income you got from your raise. And that is exactly what keeping up with the Joneses does. It's a real drain on your financial cash flow, and it compounds quietly in the background. So as you increase your earnings, you also increase your expenditures. The second thing is credit. It's a shell game. You know, like when you go to a baseball game, basketball game, and they have the hats or the shells that spin around and you try to find which one has the prize underneath. Well, that's the same thing that you're doing with your finances. You got a whole bunch of credit cards open, payments everywhere, so many accounts, it's hard to track where things are, where money's coming in, where money's going out. And so you lose track. There's leakage in your system. And high earners are also an issue here. In fact, high earners have more income and means they have more access to credit, which means they can dig a deeper hole. And so just because you're a high earner doesn't mean that you're cash flow positive. You can still live paycheck to paycheck just like anyone else. And you cannot build a house or a financial house on a shortfall. Without a surplus, you can't pay off debt. You're just treading water. Without a surplus, you can't build an emergency fund or manage your risk properly. Without a surplus, you can't invest and you can't build. There's nothing to put to work. Every financial goal, retirement, a home, college, financial freedom, requires a cash flow surplus. Businesses that run cash flow negative do not survive, and neither does a household that runs cash flow negative. You need to fix your cash flow problem before you fix anything else. And don't start talking to me about, well, the United States government is however many trillions or gazillion dollars in debt. Governments don't work the same way as businesses or households. You need to fix your cash flow problem before you fix anything else. So, simple cash flow calculation for you. You take your total after-tax income, so the amount of money that's deposited in your bank account every time you get a paycheck, and you minus your fixed expenses. You subtract your fixed expenses. So these are things that do not change month to month. Mortgage, rent, car note, insurance, your light bill and your water bill could fall into that category because those don't fluctuate a whole lot. After you remove your fixed expenses, you remove your variable or discretionary expenses. So these are things that do fluctuate a lot month to month. Groceries, dining, gas, entertainment, child expenses, child activities, that sort of thing. And after you subtract those two things, your fixed and your variable expenses, from your income, your take-home income, what you have left is your surplus or your shortfall. The surplus, this is what we're looking for. This is your raw resource. This you can build a financial house on top of. This surplus is really the fuel for all of your financial goals going forward. And that's why it's so important to fix. If you have a shortfall, you need to fix the shortfall first. You need to find the leakage in the system before you can do anything else. This is priority number one. So where do the leaks hide? I have a couple ideas. Subscriptions. Please, please, please review these. You would be shocked. I'm sure you've seen the commercials on TV as well about apps that will find the subscriptions for you. Do one of these, look at it manually. You will be shocked about how much you spend every month on subscriptions and for things that you don't even use anymore. Next thing is convenience items. Amazon, DoorDash, Instacart, dry cleaning, yard work. There's nothing wrong with any of these items. In fact, we probably have an Amazon problem ourselves here in our house. But you need to know what you're actually spending. Again, convenience items introduce leakage into your cash flow system. And then finally, I talked about this already, lifestyle creep. This is the sneakiest one, because as you increase pay, you have more show up in your take home and you think you have more money to spend. It gradually adds up every month until it feels normal to spend that same amount every month. So what does all this mean? It means you need to be honest with yourself. You don't have to be perfect with cash flow. You don't have to be granular. You don't have to engineer a solution in a spreadsheet like some of us. Shortfall is the problem you need to fix right now. Everything else needs to wait. A surplus is something we can work with. And that's what the next question is. If you have a surplus, what do you need to do? Is your surplus just sitting around in a bank account in cash? Or can you put your surplus to work doing something else for you, helping achieve your financial goals? The surplus is the resource. Budgeting, spend planned tools that you use intentionally. So next month, I'll go into a little more detail on the tools we use in our house for budgeting and spending and helping direct the cash flow traffic, if you will, to help build our financial house. So a quick recap here. Cash flow is the foundation of your financial house. Surplus means you can build. Shortfall means you need to find the leak and stop it. Comment down below. Do you know your household cash flow number? Be honest. Appreciate you tuning in today. Subscribe, like, and notify below if you want to catch more comment. Until next time, this is Lucas from Engineered Wealth Management, signing off. Before we wrap up, a quick note. This content is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not personalized investment, tax, or legal advice. Every person's financial situation is different, and you should consult with your own qualified financial, tax, or legal professional before making decisions based upon what we discussed today. Engineered Wealth Management is a fee-only registered investment advisor. Registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training. If you'd like to learn more about how we work, including our services and fees, you can find our Form ADV and important disclosures on our website. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.